Pasta maca. Use maca.
Go ahead, Duke.
Black maca.
Maca.
This
is
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Know when my mother getting old, I don't got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the hundreds,
Got a lot of chest motion. Got a lot of chest motion. I've been in the gym, you know what I mean? You be doing that. You was doing that.
I'm on the rise, I'm trying to
Keep a level head.
She want my time, she begging me to give me neck.
Oh, wow. Aggressive. Okay.
Yo, what's the deal, y'all? Hope all is well. Welcome back to another episode. I am Duke.
I'm Omar. I'm Jalan, and this is another episode of Nice and Neat. And welcome back to the number one podcast in all of Los Angeles. Say it again. The number one podcast in all of Los Angeles. Welcome back for another episode. Fellas, I want to let y'all know, I didn't get the memo that we was wearing button-ups. Y'all fellas came correct, okay?
Yeah, you know.
Okay?
I'm trying to squeeze every bit I can out of this summer.
Oh man,
That's what it is?
You know what I mean?
It's cool. I'm gonna come with something hot.
I don't know.
Come with
I've
something
been
hot
in
next
the
time.
gym, so chest has to be out.
Yeah. I see
My
you.
chest getting
Black
bigger.
and white, you came with it.
That shit fresh. I
My
like
chest
that.
getting
Law
bigger,
17
You
hat.
said what?
My chest getting bigger.
Your chest getting bigger?
So it's about to be out. You know, a
little bit on the
a
program.
little bit more.
Program.
You know what I'm saying?
That's incredible.
You know what I mean?
That's actually kind of like, matter of fact, I'm gonna go straight into it.
Okay, we'll go
Because
ahead.
you just said your chest getting bigger. I mean, you've been consistent with it.
Right.
Like, and I mean, at one point in time, it wasn't the size of where it's going and where it's at right now.
Absolutely.
Right? So you've been in there.
Very intentional.
Very intentional.
Yeah.
You laid out a blueprint to get your chest bigger.
Yeah.
So you've been trusting the process.
Yeah.
You've been staying consistent, staying in it.
Yeah,
That's what we're going to be talking about today, fellas.
Trust the process.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. But what the fuck does trust the process mean?
What the fuck is trust the process?
Just using Duke. Just using Duke. Trust the process. He didn't have the chest he got now. He didn't have that before. But yet, my man stayed consistent. He put a plan together, and it's blowing up. His chest is blow-up-shuating right now.
Blow what?
Blow-up-shuating.
Blow up Shuaite.
Blow-up-shuating.
Dictionary word, blow up, wait.
So, man, in trusting the process, sometimes you sit back and you think about, like, what does trusting the process mean? And I was thinking about, what does trusting the process mean? And when I hear it and when somebody says it, it just means right now we're not in the place that we want to be, but we have a plan laid out to get us where we're trying to go. That's how I look at trusting the process.
Yep.
So, fellas, can you think about any times where you had to lock in and say, I need to trust the process, and what did that look like? And how did you even create that process?
Yeah, I definitely had to trust the process a few times in my life. The first one that comes to my mind right now is I can't help but think back to me getting injured in college. I tore my ACL, and the time when I tore my ACL, there was like, I think 9 months exactly to the NFL draft. You know what I mean? And I was definitely, my back was definitely against the wall. Time was not on my side. And to be honest, like, I didn't even really understand or know what was gonna happen. But for me, trusting the process aligns with just believing. You know what I mean? Like, when people say trust the process, I think they're really saying, yo, you believe in what you think you could see of yourself and what you could be. You know what I mean? Or where you think something is headed. And I hate to even get like spiritual on it, but I've been on a real spiritual vibe lately. You know what I mean? And when people say trust the process, they really saying you gotta have faith in whatever it is that you're doing. You know what I mean? And we're all spiritual people here, man. We believe in a higher power and believe in God. You know what I mean? And we've never seen God before, but you believe that God is there. You know what I mean?
We've seen his works.
Seen his work.
We've seen his works. We've seen his works. We've seen his works. You know what I mean? But, well, I guess
We've seen his works.
you've seen his works.
Yeah, we've seen his works.
You've seen his works.
We've seen the
That
ocean.
takes a little.
We've seen the sky.
Okay.
We didn't make that.
Okay, that's true.
We didn't make those things. So
That's true. But I still believe though, that, trusting the process is just having faith in the things that you haven't seen yet before.
Correct.
You know
Yep.
what I mean?
I
And just believing that those things could come true if you just stay in the grind, man. You just
Yeah.
continue working hard. You keep your head down. You continue getting up. You continue doing the things that you don't want to do, even when it doesn't seem like the shit is working, even when it doesn't seem like things are even improving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, I'm still gonna grab my tools and I'm gonna go to work. You know what I mean? And I just believe that if I continue doing this, that something I'll have a breakthrough.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what like trust the process for me means. And then also back to your question, you know what I mean? That I had that situation in college where like I tore my ACL. I had to trust the process, man. I didn't know if I was gonna get healthy again. I didn't even know if I was gonna be the same player again. You know what I mean? But I just showed up every day. I went to rehab, went to work. You know what I mean? The rest is history, man. I still ended up getting drafted, you know what I mean, and making something for myself in that industry. So, that was definitely a moment for me, for sure. Back in 2011, tearing that ACL and having my back up against the wall.
I can think of a lot of situations in my life where I've had to trust the process, or there was things that I just had to like sit in. I think the earliest is playing football and not getting drafted and going through training camp and not knowing if I was going to make the team and just telling myself to trust it. But I think the most impactful process that I've been through is just my relationship, right? Because that one is really, really hard because there's an actual other person involved that could be working against you, right? Not like deliberately, but just because someone else has their own set of values and history and characteristics and those things. So a lot of times those things conflict, so I think that I've had to trust the process with making to the NFL. I had to trust the process with starting a clothing line, right? And to this point, I'm light years ahead of where I've been, so I've trusted it and it's paid off. But I think that my relationship is the one process that I've had to trust the most, just because like it's just been the most impactful. And the irony about trusting the process is like, we're going to be trusting the process forever because the process is ongoing, right? It never stops, constant. So for me, that looks like having patience, having a lot of patience through the work. And like you said, having faith into something that you don't have yet, And, a lot of people, we talk a lot about trusting the process. It's like a slogan. Everyone throws it around. It's like everyone's favorite cliche Instagram caption. But like, what does that look like? And for me, it's really, really sitting in like dark times, and really, really sitting through like adversity, because you have an end goal or you have a vision in your head of what are you doing the work for, right? And it's also, for me, following the steps and the plan that you put in place to get to that. You get what I'm saying? So if I know that, all right, I want to lose 10 pounds in the next 3 months, and I tell myself, how am I going to get there? Okay, well, I'm going to work out 5 times a day, 5 times a week at 7 o'clock, and I'm going to do cardio 4 times a week. All right. Now, 2 months goes by, and you're not seeing results. Okay. Trusting the process is sticking to what you said you was going to do to get those results, even though you're not seeing them.
That's what I was saying. Like, even when things are not improving, I'm still grabbing my tools and I'm still going to work.
So like, don't just jump ship because I'm not seeing the work. All right. So sit in it. But the hard part is like, there's a fine line between trusting the process and changing the process or doing something else to that's going to work. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
But for me, like, it's just sitting in adversity, specifically pertaining to my relationship, man. It was really going through a segment early on in our relationship where we were really getting to know each other, and our different personalities are really there's a lot of conflict, and just like just a lot of bumping heads, and it's like I have this plan and vision for us, but everything in me is kind of telling me, man, this ain't it, But trusting the process is saying, well, this is kind of like the investment.
Yep.
Right? This is kind of the work you got to put in now to kind of reap the benefits of the relationship later. You know, and I feel like when we're dealing with people, it's easier if us say fuck this, because it's like, yo, this is a person they should understand. But when we're dealing with like businesses and things that can't do anything to us, it's, oh yeah, let's trust it. So I think for us early on, we both had to trust the process, and you know, we're to a point right now where like it's not as like, questionable. It's not. It's much more clear. The process is much more clear, and now we're just on the journey together. So that's kind of my idea of what trust the process is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you guys are saying, and you continuously repeat and trust the process, it's making me think about all the words and just kind of breaking all the words down. So when we think about trust, it makes me think about vulnerability and relinquishing control. So when we're saying trust, it's like, okay, that's a space of vulnerability. You trusting your girl is a space of vulnerability because you have no control over that. You trusting that you're going to heal is a space of vulnerability because you actually don't have any control over that.
Yep.
And then we talk about process. The process is to move through something. Not necessarily saying that that's the destination. The process is just to move through something. So I'm trusting that we're going to move through something. And within that space of trusting the process, it's so much vulnerability that's going to be required of you because you need to trust the process. I think it's interesting because we always look at what the abundance of good looks like when we are in the process or when we want to achieve something, you know, but we don't look at the abundance of what we need to go through in order to achieve that good. There's a dichotomy there. There is a yin and a yang to trusting that process. So the larger that the larger the goal is for you in that process, the larger the other side is for you as well. The larger the adversity is going to be for you. You're talking about dealing with a person. You're talking about creating a life with them. You're talking about marriage. You're talking about having kids. So with all of that, that's probably going to be the best thing that ever happens in your life. And why would that process just be a seamless process? Because you need to create that space of vulnerability in order for you to even begin the journey. That's the first part. So when we talk about trusting, that's the first part. The process is what you created. And this is why it's so conflicting, because the process is like, okay, in order for us to achieve this, this is how it's going to look. You write out the process, you write out the goal, you write out what you want, right? You talking about healing your knee. The process is like, okay, cool. First 2 weeks, we'll lay in the bed. Second 2 weeks, we'll get on the crutches. 6 weeks in, we'll be able to walk. You know, by month 2.5, we're able to try to like get up and actually move around and do some things. But while you're in that first 2 weeks and you laying in the bed, you like, yo, I really can't do anything. You already know that's a part of the process. But when you get discouraged, you're not trusting it. Because you're not being vulnerable to the process. So I can really, really agree with you on that, dude, as far as being in a relationship. And where would you say that was at in your relationship to where you guys were just kind of like clashing?
Man, I think just early on when she first moved to LA, I think that's 3 years ago when she first moved to LA, it was a different experience for her because she was in my bubble. You know, and my friends, and we were going out to places I knew, and you know, I was kind of leading everything, and she kind of had to submit to like the things that I wanted to do. And as a you know, ambitious female, and someone who's just used to having her own, that was a really struggle. That was a real thing that she had to deal with. And I'm pretty sure a lot of women have to deal with it when they get in a relationship with a man who's just like that as well. You know, and I feel like I was getting a lot of pushback for no reason that I didn't even like. It's not warranted. It wasn't warranted for me. So, you know, I'm of the mindset of like, yo, why are you so upset? You know, and she's like, yo, this is why I'm upset. So we didn't really know the buttons that, you know, we had to push, right? So that was challenging at first. And you know, sometimes you get in these situations, some of those like small disagreements turn into really big arguments. And in those moments, it's like, yo, like I don't think I can do this anymore with this person because it's not supposed to be like this. It's not supposed to be like this. This is not supposed to be this hard for us, right? What are we arguing about? We have too many things in common. We're attracted to each other. Money's not a problem for us. You know what I'm saying? We're in a good place. Like, what's going on? But there was just a whole a side of each other that we just hadn't experienced and we didn't know that we had to discover. And anytime you discover something new about somebody, it's kind of shocking. So we had to just get through that whole part. But early on, man, it was it was a lot of good moments. But I think that a lot of, if I look back on our relationship, a lot of our most like challenging times came early on, for sure.
It's crazy because I feel like any process that you're in, if you feel like it's really hard, extremely challenging, you just want to stop.
Yeah.
You're probably doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You're probably doing the right thing because that's what it's supposed to feel like. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be just like a handout just fall in your lap. There's no process on the face of this earth that's like that.
Yeah.
Not walking, not learning a language, not simple arithmetic. It's all a process and it's all challenging. You know what I mean? So if you find yourself in a moment where you're like, why am I trusting the process? This shit is too hard right now. You're like, that's probably like an indication from God telling you to keep going. You're doing the right thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it doesn't seem like that because it's like, how am I doing the right thing? But it seems so difficult. You know what I mean? But I think, and I've heard like Will Smith say this, but he was referencing fear. But like, like your greatest accomplishments are like on the other side of fear. And like my spin on that for this is like, you will see success, once you come past or go through the struggle of your process. You know what I mean? Like you can't be successful and you can't have fun and you can't be good at anything without going through the bad times. It's unrealistic. You know what I mean? And that may happen every once in a while for some people like that, but I don't think that's, the general consensus for all of us. We're gonna have to struggle. It's gonna have to be hard. It's gonna have to feel like, there's a lot of pressure on me. I don't know what to do. I feel like I need to turn around. And I'm pretty sure we have all seen that meme, where there's two guys that are digging for like
diamonds.
Diamonds, yeah. Diamonds, you know what I mean? And one guy is literally right there and he just decides, man, this shit is not working. I'm gonna turn around. But little did he know if he would have just kept digging, he would have struck gold. You know what I mean? He would have found all the treasure, you know what I mean? And I think that's, our biggest thing. That's a lot of our biggest struggle in life. It's just like fighting past that conflicting moment where it's really hard, where it's really tough, Like if we have to see it to believe it, we probably will limit how high we could really go all the time. You know what I'm saying? There's some things that we're just not gonna be able to see. You're not gonna be able to see. You know what I mean? And you have to be willing to say, I'm just gonna go for it.
I believe it.
I believe it. And that's where like the spiritual side of it comes into play for me. It's like having the faith. You know what I mean? Just believing in something so strongly that I know that it's gonna happen, regardless of how long it takes, regardless of who. I could have you guys in my close circle, you know what I mean? Y'all could be saying like, hey, oh man, like, I think you should get that up. But it's something in my heart, bro. It's something in my heart, something in my spirit that say, nah, man, you got to keep that shit going. Yeah. And that's trusting the process too. Even when your own friends, your own people close to you will tell you, hey, it's time to move on. Sometimes that doesn't necessarily apply to you, although you take your friends' perspective, opinions, and advice into consideration all the time, because they're your friends. But still, the people close to you don't even know what the process is for you. You know what I mean? No, none of us know. But I definitely think like when you feel that pressure, you feel that challenge, and it's getting hard, I feel like you're doing the right thing.
I was going to say that, a lot of times when you are really going through that, you're just going up that hill and there's a lot of adversity and you're, going through that process. It seems like it's most darkest and you're going through by yourself because people generally don't see what you're going through.
Yep.
Right? No one sees it.
No one knows.
No one really sees it. It's really internal. So it's not like there's a help wanted sign or it's like, look what I'm going through. It's really internal. So like that trust in the process, you got to find out. It'll teach you a lot about who you are, what your character is, what you're made of, like what's your resolve like. And I'm talking about everything. I ain't talking about career. I'm talking about everything, whether it's your career, your relationship, the gym, right? This shit translate into every facet of life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like I don't want to say we got into a point, but I think we kind of have created this just like this unrealistic, you know, expectation of having things quickly or having things as easy as possible. You know what I mean? And I think that it's kind of had a negative effect on how we sit in it, you know, and how we trust the process, how much adversity we're going to go through, how much belief we have in the things that we really want in our vision. You know what I mean? It's just doing, and also doing the constant work. And I think that that's where we're lacking. But I feel like if we just understand that, like, cause sometimes, bro, like my story is or something that I've been going through, right? I'll sit on the computer for hours learning something, right? And my homies would be out, my girl would want to go out, it'd be shit going on outside, and the shit be going on, and I feel like I'm missing out, right? And I'm like, yo, this shit is pointless. I've been sitting on this computer for 4 hours, and I just feel like I could be doing so much more. But every minute I'm on the computer learning something, I require a skill that's gonna last me like a lifetime. You know what I mean? So like these hours are starting to add up into lifetime skills just because I'm trusting that the work I'm doing is gonna pay off in the long run. All right. So the work, the conversation that I'm having with my girl right now about you know, my feelings and her feelings may be insignificant right now, but it's gonna pay off in the long run.
Absolutely.
You know how people. Okay, this is another thing. People used to ask me. People still ask me this actually. Say, because if you guys didn't know, right? Before when I was single, right? We were single. So people that knew me would probably tell you that like there's no way I would have saw, you know, Duke being the guy he is today back then, right? So people always ask me, yo, like, how did you like even train yourself or, you know, work on yourself to become the person you are for your girlfriend, or how you in this relationship? And the craziest thing is like, I always trained myself to like, I got to a point where I would train myself to be in a relationship when I was single, right? And that was like, people was like, what do you mean by that? I'm like, yo, girls would hit me up like, let's hang. And I would have no reason not to hang out with them, but I would just say, nah, I'm good. I'd have no reason not to hang out with them. None, right? I had nothing to do. I wasn't doing important. I wasn't like, I was just like, no, right? So I had to train myself. And for me, it was like, yo, people was like, yo, that shit's stupid. Hell no, I can't do that. But for me, it was just like, yo, I'm trusting that the things that I'm doing right now that I really kind of don't even want to do is going to pay off in the long run. So now that I'm in a relationship, it's easy to kind of like immerse myself in my relationship without any outside distractions, you know? And I think that a lot of people adapt that mindset, not just specifically pertaining to relationships. More people will like get to the goal or the end of that journey or whatever it may be. So that's kind of like how I look at, you know, trusting the process, but you know, it can show up so many different ways.
Something that jumps off the paper to me when we talk about trusting the process, and as a synonym, is when people say fall in love with the work. Like don't fall in love with the goal, fall in love with the journey.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you fall in love with the work, and I think even another synonym in fall in love is gratitude. So it's extremely important to express gratitude even when you feel like you have nothing to be gracious for, when you're trusting in the process. As you're speaking about when you laying in that bed and your ACL is torn, and it's like, yo, I'm going to be good one day. And I'm just happy that I'm even in a position to heal in this space.
Oh, for sure.
Me and my girl, we're going to be good one day. You know, I'm just happy that we're able to go through these things and grow through these things together. And being able to trust the process, fall in love with the journey, these are all just synonyms to make us feel better about, hey, do the work.
Do the work.
Do the work. Like, overnight success we ain't just talking about being a rock star or a millionaire. Like, that's in everything.
But what's overnight success?
Oh, man, it's a long-ass night.
It's 10 years of work.
It's 10 years of work, bro.
10 years of work.
So people say overnight success when it comes to just almost anything. And, like, we kind of expect that microwave behavior when it comes to whether it's our relationships, our finances, our how we're in shape. you know, you would be like, okay, cool. How many times as trainers have people came to y'all was like, man, I'm going on a vacation. Can you get me right? And you'd be like, when the trip? And they'd be like, man,
2
I'm
weeks.
leaving and I give you 3. I'm leaving in 3 weeks.
Ain't nothing I can do for you, bro.
I can't do nothing.
I can't do nothing for you, fam.
There's no process for 3
at
weeks.
least a quarter.
Nah.
You know, because when we talking about process, and this is another thing, I think people say trust the process, and people have never even laid out what their process is to look like. They just wake up and they say, I'm just gonna trust the process, and you just getting up, and the only thing you trusting is that Tuesday's gonna follow Monday. But other than that, like you haven't written out what the process looks like. You got this A to Z mindset, and you're not making any A to B movements. So it's like, when you say trust the process, what actually is your process? When we're talking about your knee, you know your end goal is to be healthy, to participate in contact sports again. When we talking about your end goal in your relationship, dude, we know that you want to build a life with this person. So we'll even use, let's do a case study. Let's do a quick case study. Want to do a quick case study?
Let's do it.
Cool. So women all the time, we'll use a woman. A woman might say, like, man, I want a man. You know, like, okay, what do you want? Man, I want him to have some money. I want him to look good. I want him to be in shape. I want him to do these things, right? And, you know, you can find that. But what are the qualities that come with that? It's a whole nother level that you have to dive into so you can now understand what your process of prospecting is going to even look like. So when you say, I want a man that has money, do you want a man that has money, a trust fund kid, or do you want somebody who has ambition to go out and go get it? Because the quality and the actual end result are two totally different things. Because some people got money and they don't have any ambition. Okay, cool. I want a man that's in shape. All right. Do you want somebody who got the mindset to get in shape? Or do you want somebody who just kind of like in shape today?
Right.
Because you know that's the thing.
Yep.
So I feel like when we look at the process, even when we're scouting people, we're looking at prospects and people who we might be interested in, you should look at qualities of this process. So even when we're talking about our processes, you were talking about the qualities in your process, not just the end result. Like, you know what it took. You knew what it's going to take. Yo, I got to learn about her feelings today. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it, but I know we got to go through this. Cool. She's a willing person to be able to go through these things. That's such an important thing as well. Like, you had a willing opponent. If you just had somebody who was just combative and they didn't want to have these conversations to be able to grow, then
Would have been hard to trust the process.
it would be really hard to trust the process. It'd be really hard to trust the process. But, you know, the fact that
I'm going to change the process.
you got to deviate from the process a little bit. But the fact that you had somebody who was like, yo, I'm equally as frustrated, and I'm equally trying to figure out this problem as well. Like, let's see what tomorrow looks like. Let's see what tomorrow looks like. Like, that's the dopest thing about the process. Tomorrow always exists.
Yeah, I also like. Okay, so with trusting the process, you know what? It's the hardest to trust the process is when someone's hurt you. It's probably super hard to trust that you're ever going to like get back to another place, or the place that you guys been, or a better place, or just out of the funk that you in. It's super hard, but that's when you have to trust whatever you're going through the most. Because how I feel right now in this moment is not how I'm going to feel in 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, you know? And not letting how I feel in the moment govern my behavior for the rest of like my life, and it governs how I treat you and how I handle myself and what I want to do. Like, that feeling is trusting the process. So I do want to jump into our next segment, which is
Hey, bro, don't be trying to jump to halftime for me, bro. If anybody gonna be jumping to halftime around here, it's gonna be me, fam.
I got excited.
All right, bro. So,
I got excited.
hey,
Get your shit together.
get your shit together, bro. It's my job. What's the deal, y'all? Welcome back to the Nice and Neat Halftime Show, man. I'm your host, Omar. I think we're having a good discussion here today about trusting the process. What the fuck does trust the process mean? I feel like we're all currently in a space where we have to trust the process, man. So I think, and I hope that this episode is resonating well with a lot of you guys, and I hope you guys are taking a lot from this But with that said, man, I want to jump into them the rules, man. Dude, talk to us. What we got, bro?
Man, so I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I saw something on Instagram on the internet, and it was this guy. It was this girl's birthday, and she had 18 of her friends at her birthday dinner, and the girl was mad after the dinner. The girl was mad at her boyfriend because he didn't pay for all 18 of her friends that came to dinner. Right? She was really mad. Now I'm not sure if it was staged or not. Some people were saying it's staged, but I don't know, right? But regardless, it was a situation that I wanted to talk about, bro. And let me know your thoughts. Are you paying in a situation where this is your girlfriend? I'm not talking about you dating somebody. This is your girlfriend, all right? In a situation where there's a woman is your lady, and she's having her birthday dinner, and 18 of her friends come to her birthday dinner. Are you guys paying for all 18 of those girls to eat?
Should I take it? You want me to go? You want me to go first?
Hey, cuz.
Because I make it real easy, real simple.
Go ahead, make it real simple.
I'm not paying for 18 people ever. I'm not paying for 18 people.
18 people is crazy.
That's a lot, bro. That's a lot, man. First of all, why is it even a question that I have to pay for 18 people? If you're my lady, not you, you know what I mean. You know what I mean? If this is my lady, this is her birthday, and I'm taking care of her for her birthday party, that should be enough. You know what I mean? Her other friends, how do her other friends even show up expecting? It's your friend's birthday, right? It's your friend's birthday. The least you can do is show up for her. The least, right? I'm not there. My boy's not there. That's not my night. It's not my night to hold it down and show that I could support us financially. That's not the night. No, I'm definitely not doing that. It's not even a discussion. You know what I mean? And to be honest, if my girl brought that up to me, I'd probably be upset that she even asked me that. You know, because I feel like 1, 2, 3 friends, all right, cool. You know what I mean? But like, come on, double digits? Nah, I think that's unacceptable. I think it's disrespectful to even ask, bro. To be honest.
Yeah, that's it's my girl birthday, and I think it's wild to show up to somebody's birthday and expect to eat for free anyway.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. It's not your birthday.
It's not yours.
It's not your birthday. Like, you should, if your bill is $70, you should be putting in $100.
Here you go, tip.
Because everybody should be paying for the birthday girl, right?
Yep.
Granted, obviously it's my girl. I'm going to take care of her however I'm going to take care of her, but everybody should be paying for the birthday girl. I just want a quick little story. I'm going to go back a little bit.
Take us back, because maybe somebody need a reminder.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
A little reminder, right? So my girl had a birthday dinner. She had a couple of her homegirls there. I wasn't there, but I still wanted to make my presence felt. So I put a couple $100 on the bill, right? Make sure it was take care of her, and I sent them some drinks. Now, I will say this. Now, to make everybody feel involved just because of who I am, and it wasn't 18 people. It might have been about 6. But to make everybody feel involved, I'll buy everybody a shot. Mm-hmm. But to pay for the whole entire bill, I don't even see how that even makes sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I just don't see how it makes sense at all.
It doesn't make any sense to me at all either.
Well, apparently, it was people on our TikTok, on Nice and Neat's TikTok, who said that I'm Jalon, should have just paid the entire bill. Why even send anything? He should have just paid the entire bill. So I want you guys to leave in the comments how y'all feel about that. Because me personally, not being there and still making my presence felt and making sure that my girl was taken care of, because this is my girl. She was taken care of. She was good. I don't see, and her friends got drinks out of it as well. I don't see how paying for the entire bill is what should be used as the bare minimum to supplement the night. I don't understand that the thought or the theory behind that, or where that comes in. I would love to hear, truth be told, if somebody really felt that way, I would love to hear an explanation on why it makes sense.
Right.
Like, why it makes sense. I can give you the explanation on why it doesn't, but I would like to hear why it makes sense. I'm not going to just shut it down. I want to hear it.
I want to hear it too.
I think, okay, so I was having a conversation, and I I've heard women say like, yo, it's just something that women, it's really an ego boost for women. Like, my man can take care of all y'all. It's just an ego boost. That's all it is. But it doesn't make sense logically. Because, you know, like, if it's 18 of y'all, it don't make sense. If it's 18 of y'all and some of y'all got boyfriends, some of y'all got men, and I'm paying for another man's girlfriend to have dinner, that logically don't make sense either, right? That's the thing you got to think about. But
Fam,
He's ready. O's ready.
that's $2,000.
hey, yo, though, but like,
That's $2,000 that I that you're asking me to spend on everybody else's fun, and I'm not even included. I'm not even there.
yo, but I do understand though. I do understand because everyone's pockets is different, right? So if a nigga want to spend that, spend that. But he shouldn't be expected to, and it shouldn't be held against him that he doesn't.
Nah, and
That's
you
what I'm
shouldn't,
saying.
and you shouldn't be asking him.
And you shouldn't be
let,
asking
let,
him.
Let the man, if that's what he want to
Yeah.
do, and like you said, everybody's situation is different.
Yeah.
Let him boss up. Let him do that.
If you
and
want
that's
to
all
do that,
good.
and that's it. But don't like make it an issue because he's not doing it when that's not even the requirement for the relationship.
Yeah.
Right. That's not them. They're not my. You got 18 homegirls. Half of these girls are not even your homegirls. They just
I don't
here.
even know all their names.
Right? They just here. And secondly, yo, okay, this is just a story, but we know that most grown women don't have 18 homegirls to like go to dinner with. Like that.
My girl don't.
The girl was young.
My fiance don't.
Yeah,
18?
The girl was young. 18 girls is like that's a young girl.
Fiance
Shit.
barely got 8.
Yeah, so like, nah, we know that's not, that's not for like our age bracket, but she was tripping, and I was just like, oh nah, I couldn't do it. But I do believe though, like some men could do that because it's a flex, obviously, and they got deep pockets, and it's all good.
I don't even think about deep pockets. My ego's not that heavily involved in that type of
Mine either.
satisfaction.
Mine either.
Correct. But it's still like a mindset thing, right? If that's what you want to do, that's what you'll do.
Let's just take this for a spin right quick. Right? Ego boost. My man can take care of all of you guys. Right? Right?
I don't like where it's going.
Okay.
don't
My
like
man can take care of all you guys. Ego
like it.
boost. So, one of these 18 girls are now at dinner
I don't like
and they see, oh, okay, this is how he getting down. When these other women begin to desire your man, because that's essentially what is kind of happening, are you going to keep the same energy of being upset? Or because when he starts paying for these bills and he starts doing these things like this, and whenever your friend comes around, he's the one who's doing this and he's the one who's taking care of that,
It gets an attachment.
it becomes an attachment. And it gets created like that. Oh, okay, nah, he does this. And now those 18 girls, because all of them aren't as close to you, they start whispering, they start talking, they start plotting. So it's like, do you really want that? Are you really looking at the end result of that? Do you really want him to pay for these 18 girls?
Nah, my girl
don't want that.
My girl definitely.
don't
like,
want
You
that.
don't want that. When you break it down like that, you don't want that.
my
You
girl
don't
be
want
like,
that.
What you talking about, man? Don't pay for that.
My girl
I
look
don't
at
even know how that benefits us. It's us.
as a relationship.
It's us.
Yes.
It ain't.
That's what I'm saying.
That don't
like,
benefit
the
us.
only-
That don't serve us.
The only
man.
benefit it does is it's just ego. That's it. It don't benefit us. It don't benefit us. It don't benefit us.
It don't. And if it's not benefiting us, it's hurting us. Right? You can't help and hurt at the same time.
It's
You
either
hurt
one or the other.
It's one or the other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, nah, man. That's for me. Where I stand is no.
Okay.
No.
Hell to the no.
Oh, you want me to know? Oh, you want me to say no? Oh, my bad. I thought it was very clear. Yeah, absolutely
okay.
not.
That's
Absolutely not. No. And he sat there and he had the audacity to explain himself.
He had the audacity to explain because he was probably young.
Matter of fact,
Probably
I want.
young.
He probably young, bro. He probably
He was
young.
definitely young.
I wish the young boy, like, if it was real, I wish the young boy would really just reach out, and I would love to rap with him because he gonna be in that situation again, dealing with that.
Yep.
So I would love to rap.
He
with
need
him.
to have the right tools. So he
He's
needs
some tools.
for the situation.
He needs some tools.
He needs some tools.
That ain't the process he need to be trusted.
Hey though, but kind of like it's crazy because behavior like that, it kind of like make men feel like they gotta like be something and do something that they're not even comfortable with to even just have a shot with women. You know what I mean? And I think that shit is like detrimental to like the man woman relationship. You know, I think it hurts because men are now feeling like they have to, you know, overdo it when they're not even able to. You know, and everyone can say, hey man, well, a man gotta be a man. He can make his own decisions. Like he should know better, but that's not how pressure works. You know, that's not how pressure works. So.
I would love to know where that expectation came from her. Like, did you ever see your dad pay for 18 of your mom's friends?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
did you ever see that? Nah.
That's another topic for.
You've been watching the internet,
for sure.
So like you just feel like that's not a.
I've been watching the internet.
You've been watching the internet. That's not a real thing that it should be expecting.
That's the internet for sure.
Like your dad never sat down around with your mom and her 18 friends and said, "Hey y'all, I got it. They got it. Say less.
I got it.
I'm covering the bill." Nah, that didn't happen. Now, if I decided to throw you a birthday party, that's totally different. I'm taking care of whatever come with that. The caterer, because instead of paying for 18 people for me, I just pay for a chef.
I'm paying for a caterer. Yeah.
Doesn't even make sense. Why would I send you to a restaurant and pay $2,500 when I could just get a caterer?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense. So absolutely not. Absolutely. And don't stick my man with that bill too when the bill come. He should know that before he gonna come. Don't do that. You're a bad girlfriend for even doing that.
How did that happen, dude? She's like,
man,
because he wasn't there, right?
They was arguing outside.
Oh, he was actually.
They was
there.
arguing outside.
They was arguing outside,
Yeah.
and it was like a busload of girls behind her, just sitting there like stank face,
Yeah.
stank face,
Why
like
say-
yeah, you a
say a
broke
busload?
ass. Like she going in on him.
Yeah, it was a lot of
yeah.
yeah. It was a lot of
Like,
them.
yeah, but you and your friends.
Yeah, go ahead. It was funny though. I ain't gonna lie, it was funny, but it was funny. But I was like, oh man, that's crazy.
All right. Well, do you think the hot girl, city girl, like the hot girl summer, city girl dynamic of shit what's really going on right now has set the expectations around that?
Real bad.
Real bad.
Real bad.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's influenced it for sure. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to be a hot girl, and if they saying that's what how hot girls are being treated, well, yeah, that's what I'm gonna demand. You know what I mean? They standing on the table, screaming, shouting for it. So like, I definitely think a couple episodes we were just talking about like the influence of music. Was that?
yep. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just a couple episodes ago. You know what I mean? So like, we know the kind of power it has over people. You know what I mean? And the pictures that it could paint. So.
Before we exit this, I know we're running a little long with halftime, but we said, the expectations of a man, right? And I think it's real convenient for us to just put the onus on what it looks like to be a man. But what does it look like to be a woman?
That's what I was gonna ask too. I was gonna say, yo, like, what ladies, like, drop the comments. Let us know what are some of the unrealistic expectations that men put on women.
Not even that. I mean, as my woman, you know that I feel uncomfortable paying for your 18 friends. As my woman, why would you even put me in a situation to where that is a thing as a woman? Because you're a woman. You're my woman. And if I'm a man, I'm not going to be there with me and my 18 homies like, yeah. And it's like, yo, you my girl. We're building something together. You shouldn't even feel comfortable with me shelling out that type of money.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how does that benefit us?
So with that being said, it's still her responsibility as a woman to understand that and be like, babe, thank you for taking care of my meal.
Straight up.
These 18 girls, you guys are on your own. Thanks for coming to support me. You guys came to support me, not eat for free. Support.
That should have been the conversation.
Like,
Where y'all
Hey,
money
what's
at?
up with y'all? Where y'all bread at?
why'd y'all come? And 18, look, if 18 people showed up, somebody expected to eat for free.
For sure.
That's crazy.
Plain and simple.
For sure.
Somebody expected to eat for free. Everybody got in their text messages when the bill came. You don't got that many texts.
All of a sudden, niggas got to go to the bathroom. Women got to go to the bathroom.
Nah, but I really, like I said, whether it's real or not, I mean, it was definitely a young couple, and I feel like that right there, that was a great depiction. I would have loved to sit down with my future son and say, like, let's look at this. This is game film right here.
This game film.
This game film right here.
Study this.
Let's look at this. So what would you do in this situation?
Yeah.
You know, because that's just not that's not it. I don't want my son to ever be with a woman who feel like she need to do that in order to feel better about herself. Mm-hmm. Nah, you don't got nothing to do with that, son.
Don't hurt me.
Yeah.
Don't hurt me to help you.
Nah, that's a little deep. That's a little deeper than what you've ever seen. That goes back years, son. Y'all can figure that out. She'll have to go and figure that out on her own. That's bigger than you.
That's bigger than you. It's deeper than you.
It's deeper than you.
And just like that, dim.
The
Rules.
With that said, we're going to conclude this week's halftime show and get to the second half the only way we know how. That's with some positive energy, some positive vibrations, and a smile, of course. And then second half, let's get into it.
Fellas, so look, check this out. First half, we talking about trusting the process. I feel like we did a really, really good job with just talking about what it looks like to trust the process, how to go through those steps. But have you ever forced the process? Because sometimes I feel like we can say trust the process, and somebody may get caught in a position or within a process that they not supposed to be in. You guys feel like y'all ever forced the process or was in a situation to where you're like, now that you're out of it, you're like, I shouldn't have went even that far within the process. And how would you even know that?
Oh, I definitely. I forced the process with a relationship in the past. Like, I just did it too soon. I just way too ambitious.
Oh, man.
Just way too ambitious, and you know what I mean, and made decisions way before I should have. And yeah, anytime I feel like I have to force something, it doesn't work out well for me. Mm-hmm. For me personally. So like I would say, like, if I had to feel like I have to force the process, this process probably isn't going to work for me, and I probably need to find a new process. And I've learned that through my experiences in life, you know what I mean? And I could specifically speak to that relationship. That's the first thing that popped in my mind, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure Duke remembers this very closely. You know what I mean? We were teammates on the same team at the time, you know what I mean? But like I completely forced the process, and it didn't work. It didn't work. So for me, like forcing the process, if I have to force it, I got to change it. That's kind of where I lie at with it. What's up?
Hey, I'm laughing because I'm just picturing in my head you forcing the process. Yo, I remember everything, dog. O came to me, was like, yeah, man. Yeah, man, she my girlfriend. I was like, who? Like that. Like, who your girlfriend? She my girlfriend? I said, shit, all right. But I didn't really know too much about her. I ain't see her long. I ain't see her around.
Nah.
That shit just happened fast. And I was just like, and at the time, we was young, too, so I didn't even ask you no questions about it. I wasn't like, yo, like, you sure?
know the questions to ask.
You sure, man?
Yeah, all right, we rolling.
I was like, all right, cool. I got a girlfriend, too. Let's go. Come on. And we was rolling. But that's funny, though, that you said that. So have I forced a process that I can remember? Man, I forced a lot of stuff, honestly. I force so many things I can't even, like, keep track of, but I be in and out quickly, you know? And you always know when you're forcing it, when you're doing it and you're just not happy and you're just not like fulfilled and you're not like excited about it and passionate about it and you're just doing it because you think that this is a skill that you have or this is something that you should be doing. Mm-hmm. I've done a bunch of stuff like that, man, too many to count. And I just like every single time I try to force something, I end up just like wasting time. Mm-hmm. You know, you just waste time because like you don't have no end goal, you don't have no plan. You just kind of see it. It usually feels like you're kind of just floating and seeing where it goes, you know, and that could be for a relationship or a job or just like, you know, a lot of things. I think I was at one point I was really, this is what I was doing. So I think last year, 2 years ago, I had rented my car on Turo, right? And I was trying to rent my car on Turo, and I thought it was a great idea to rent the car on Turo because everyone's been talking about Turo. Mm-hmm. Everyone's
burning up. It's hot.
Like it's hot. Like it's just like it's easy money. You know what I mean? I had an extra car, so I was just like, why not? You know, why not, right? But it's not something I really wanted to be like do like that, right? So many other ways to make money, and I was just like, yo, why am I spending so much time trying to figure this thing out when I really don't even want to do it, right? And I know tarot is not one of those things where it's like a super intricate process that you got to just like follow through it, but it still was taking up my time. It's something that I still had to like dedicate myself to, that I just couldn't. You know, I couldn't, and it was taking my energy and my emotion away from other things that were just more suitable to what I wanted and more passionate. I'm a passion guy, right? I'm a passion guy.
Same.
I like to enjoy what I'm doing. I like to feel like accomplished and fulfilled, and I like to like cater to like my gifts and my skills and my desires, right? So like being a creative person, you want to create. You know, being a creative person, you just want to be into like design and arts and you know, theater or whatever, right?
Yep.
And those are things that was speaking to me. So not being able to do that, I'm good at a lot of shit, y'all. I'm good at a lot of shit, y'all. If you listening to this or watching this, I'm good at a lot of things. I can do a lot of things, but I'm just not passionate about a lot of things. So if I was to do those things, it'd just be a waste of time because, you know, I don't think I'm passionate enough to sit in it and trust that process to see whatever comes from it or see whatever comes to fruition. So I just try to remember that and not just get so caught up in trying to just do everything.
It's crazy because you use the word passion, and while you're speaking, I'm thinking, damn, passion is like associated with the word love, right? But force is associated. Good. Force is associated with the word control, right? And like control and love don't really
I got you.
match. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay, come on.
So
Come
like,
on.
if you feel what I'm
Come
saying?
on.
So if you feel like you have to force something and you actually have to have full control over it, you have to control over it. You're probably not gonna have the love and the passion for that process. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like that again for me, if I have to force it, it's not for me.
Yeah, y'all was just making me think about something that I forced in my life before. Obviously, like Duke was talking about, what O was talking about, as far as, you know, trying to like somebody more than you actually like them. Like I think we've all done that.
Yep.
But I'm thinking
Guilty.
about, man, I seen one of my homies. He was in solar. He got rich, got dumb rich off of solar. I'm like, ooh, I'm finna be in that. I don't care about solar. I don't love solar. You know what my job was? I had to go around, and I think at this time I'm probably maybe like 20, and I had to go around and knock on 100 doors a day and tell people about this solar company
That you don't love, you're
that
not
I
passionate
don't,
about.
I don't care about. And I'm driving 45 minutes to go do it. You know, at the time I'm taking my ex-girlfriend car because I had a V8 at the time. I don't want to be driving that 45 minutes. So I'm just thinking about, I remember one day I was driving out there and I'm like, yo, I'm really forcing this. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't care about anything about this. And that at that time, it really showed me that money will never be the main component to keep me happy, and it will never supplement my creativity. Because I felt like that was taking away so much from what I was able to do. As soon as I stopped that, I went and opened my first shop. I was like, oh, okay, cool. We lit here now. All right, bet. Then I opened another one, and I was like, man, you know what? This is it. I don't know what I was doing, taking that 45-minute drive to go knock on doors because I thought it was going to get me rich. I was like, yo, bro, even if it did, that ain't what I'm trying to do. That wasn't what I was trying to do at all. So I'm sitting here laughing, thinking about just like, yo, I was really forcing what I thought, because I created a process for it. I created, okay, cool, we're going to do this. All right, cool, this is going to be B. All right, next we're going to move here. Then we're going to go ahead and go to this company. I wasn't trying to do that. I wasn't trying to do that one bit. And I think it's crazy, man, how, also you said you didn't want to get too spiritual, but man, I'm a God-fearing man, and it's just so funny. Whenever I force any process, I feel like God literally pulls me up by the collar of my shirt and be like, you don't even belong here. Like, he pulls me out of it to where I can't even be in it long enough to be like, man, that was a really bad mistake that I did. That took too much time out of my life. I've actually never experienced that, to where it was like, man, it just took too much time. It was just like, it was something I did. I tried it. It wasn't for me. And that's just kind of how I looked at it. But it's some people who experience things where I'm like, it wasn't for me. I tried it, but it took 10 years of my life. And I never was passionate about it. I never enjoyed it. I hated it every single day. I've never experienced that. I've always had that favor to where it was just like, nah, we don't want you here, Jelon. Like, come on. And I felt like I literally got plucked by my collar. And it was just like, get out of there. Stop doing that. So forcing the process is definitely a thing.
Yeah.
We've all done it.
So how do you? Okay, we know the easy part is like knowing that we're not supposed to be doing something and then getting out of there, right? The hard part is like feeling like we're supposed to be doing this and not knowing when to get out.
That is the hard. That's
the hard part.
That's
right?
really the hard part.
So how do you guys tell yourself, I've trusted the process long enough, this ain't for me?
Yeah, that's when I got to get real spiritual on y'all. And I got to really take some time to talk with God. And I got to sit down. Sometimes I got to spend time in isolation. You know what I mean? Meditate, pray, to really listen for that answer, to really find out, do I need to stop?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 'Cause God will tell you.
Yeah.
God, if you develop a relationship, the right relationship with God, he will speak to you. You know what I mean? And you'll know. You know what I mean? For me, that's especially lately in my life right now, that's like really where I'm at. You know what I mean? I post all the time frequently. You know, I meditate on a daily. You know what I mean? I spend time in isolation trying to figure out my life. You know what I mean? Asking God, is this the right process for me? Am I going in the right direction? You know what I mean? And for me, that has been helping me.
Okay.
Having that quiet time with God, having that quiet time in isolation, meditation, and really thinking about my process, bro. Thinking about, am I doing the right thing in life? Am I going in the right direction? Am I feeling fulfilled? Am I happy? Because just because it's hard doesn't mean I'm not happy. You know what I mean? Like, it could be hard. You could be happy as shit. Like, this shit is just hard. It's just difficult. But I'm happy. So I think I'm heading in the right direction. You know what I mean? So God is telling me, all right, keep going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's really where that's, for me, that's what it is. You know what I mean? If things get hard, let me talk to God. You know what I mean? Even if he doesn't give me the answer today, I have faith that he will give
Is
it.
there ever moments though where your process is going smooth and you abandon it because it's not what you're passionate about? You know what I mean? Like,
no, I understand what
like
you
we
mean.
just had Darius on the show, and he was talking about how he was in medical school and he dropped out of medical school to become he was an aspiring actor, right? And he was on his way to success as a doctor.
Oh, well.
It was working for him. He said, you know what? Let me just pull myself out of this and go into the struggle.
100%.
You know?
Definitely. You just made me think about it when you talked about school right now. School has always been pretty simple for me. I've always been a pretty bright person. And I was in school and I was sitting in class and I was just sitting there one day and I was like, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to be here. Everybody, and I'm not one of those people who has that pressure to where it's like, nobody in the family has graduated from college. You'll be the first one, so you have to do it. And it's like, nah, I had a different type of pressure. Everybody in my family graduated from college. So it was just like, this is normal. You sit it out and you do it. And I was just like, yo, this isn't in my heart, bro. This sitting here is not in my heart. And I'm gonna tell you what my teacher said one day. It was I mentally checked out of school this day. It was a religious studies class, so I have no idea why he was talking about this. But he was like, yo, I want to remind you that, going to college it's here so it can teach you how to work for corporations and not build them. And my aspiration was always to build one. And when he said that, I looked around and I was like, nobody else finds that weird? Everybody just kept their head down. They still working. Jotting notes down. Like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. So I'll be an employee. Got it. So they wrote that down, and I was just like, I don't want to be here no more. Like, I need to figure out how I can start building my stuff. I literally dropped out of school, bro, to go to barber school. Went to barber school and started building barbershops. But like that, how you said, like, have you been in the process and it was smooth and you had it laid out and you had your groundwork? Yeah. And you was just like, yo, this is not in my heart. I'm a passion guy. Some guys are passion guys. Some guys are money guys. Some guys be seeing, okay, cool, they selling shoelaces. People are a millionaire off of shoelaces. I'm going to figure out how to shoelaces.
Yep.
I'm not that guy.
Me either.
That doesn't work for me.
My heart got
Yeah.
My heart got to be in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and honestly, it's crazy because it's just like when rappers want to be athletes and athletes want to be rappers. I tell my friends who are like that, I'm like, man, I kind of envy that you got that. And they be like, man, I envy that you got passion. I've never been oh, that's what's hot. Let's do it. It's always been hard for me. I've always tried it. It's hard for me. It's too difficult because I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
So in them challenging moments, I'm gonna just quit.
Because the challenging moment's gonna
I'm
happen.
not even up for it.
I'm
Not
gonna
up for
quit
the
because
challenge.
I'm not really passionate about
Yep.
it. I'm gonna just be like, oh, it's not for me. I'm gonna walk away from it because not, and that's what I don't want. I don't want that for myself. It's
Nah.
not giving.
It's
not giving.
It's not,
It's not giving.
It's not giving, But I think that there's probably a lot of people going through this and trying to figure out just their life. Some people are trying to figure out, do they, apply more pressure? Do they just have patience? Do they trust the process? Do they sit in it? Do they just kind of, navigate the adversity? And there's some people trying to figure out, man, like, what's next? I'm not enjoying myself, right? I think whatever your position is, you should just, like O said, talk to whatever higher power that you believe in, But I would say that if you are passionate about something and you're going through a rough challenge and you're going through just like a strenuous process, really, really sit in it and have patience. And then also evaluate, do you have a plan in place? Because if you don't have a plan, but you're passionate about something, then try to put a plan in place and don't just rely on the passion. Rely on like the strategy, rely on, the steps and the work that it takes to accomplish that. Because we always talk about this is, how you get to 100 is, go from 0 to 10 and then 10 to 20 and then 20 to 30 and 34 and so on and so forth, right? But that requires a plan, all right? And that process is going to be challenging no matter what. So just understand that. But fellas, do we have anything else left to say?
I'm good.
Man, just have gratitude throughout the process that you're to be trusted.
Okay.
Gratitude is extremely important. That's what's going to help you fall in love with the work.
Yeah, and one thing to help you with that is just acquiring the skill of patience. Having the patience to trust the process will get you along through. So believe in it, have faith in it. Even though you can't see it, believe it.
Okay. All right, y'all. That's all the time we got for tonight. Really appreciate you guys for tapping into another episode and rocking with us. Please drop in the comments. Let us know what you think about the episode. Also, let us know what you want us to talk about in the next coming episodes. Make sure you guys are following us and subscribe to us on all social platforms. Nice Thing the Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and TikTok. So
And
make
you
sure you
don't
guys.
stop.
Did I miss something? Nah.
Nah,
Cool,
you
cool.
Gucci.
Follow myself on
You got
Instagram at Duke. Follow Omar at Omar.Bolden and Jalan at just.Jalan. And again, much love, much gratitude. Until next time, I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalan. This is another episode of Nice and Neat, and that's that on that.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old and I don't got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the hundreds, pledge allegiance, I stand.